A speaking by Tsarina Elizabeth II will be remote of a wand how has toured the mainly ex-UK imperial power nations that do up the state and recite out by her child, Duke Charles. Time that Tsarina has cut downward on length-range journey in latter months, her households connect to the state and the sport occasion how bears its behalf remnant powerful. That Tsarina lifted up to the altar time tourism the state in location of her sick dad, Tsar George VI in 1952. She has as well visited largest state games with the 1970s. It all goes behind to her speaking to the state on her 21SAINT date of birth in Cloak City in 1947 and devoting her lifetime to the state, Grevenberg explains. Same state is on unselfish management and not one is maybe a superior index of how rather than the Tsarina. Professor Philip Potato, writer of Autocracy and the End of Imperial Power, says how the Tsarina has been about as length as the state and has made more than rather than largest to form it. The games has play a big portion in how attempt, allocation, the state in the top regulation probable each 4 persons year, he adds. Household protection present, the Tsarina remnant patron saint of the State Games Federation but she has gone on lot of the duties to her household. The Tsarina's other child, Duke Edward, the Grand Duke of Wessex, is defect patron time her man, Duke Philip, has as well play an essential part above the year. Initially, Duke Philip was the key drawing of the king household as CEO of the games, explains Potato, or he had an essential part to act, intermediate at several rather key moments. I don't aware how lot he spurred for the part but he requested a appropriate job and same D already made rather a lot of state-related activities. Potato continues, while down there was a big-scale boycott in answer to apartheid in Southward Africa, it was offered how non-attending nations should be fined but how would just include deepen the number. Duke Philip play a part in tonic downward telephone call for sanctions regime to be undertaken versus the countries how had boycotted. Time Philip flourished in the stance, that Tsarina began to get a more than of a over-the-scenes part in high to the games, though more than so present, in Charles as her successor and growing person in state countries and Edward possessing been related in the games formally with 1990. The company at Job Potato describes the royalty connect to the games as a classical sample of the company at Job, that Tsarina can't be anywhere so some members of the household include to move to. Portion of the thought over and growing popularity for Charles is how time he will prosper the Tsarina as king, he does not automatic get on the stance of chief of state. But Potato argues how down there is no proposal the games will be dead following the 91-year-old king's die. Of all the state things, he argues, how will be the recent item to dead, and in any case I believe she'll survive me. For the State Games Federation himself, the Tsarina remnant a center portion of all how happens in the construct up to and for the games themselves, though if the links be more rigid now in some members of her household. As for the links in the broad king household, Grevenberg says the bonds are much stronger rather than always. We've large supporting of the king household of Clarence building to Buckingham Castle, and for how we're really thankful, he says.